If Jesus comes back and he doesn't look like this, are you going to recognize him? Hear me out. What if he comes back and at the same time there's a false prophet or an antichrist on earth performing miracles and they both look the same? And maybe they do look like the stereotypical Jesus, or maybe they don't. Maybe neither one of them have long hair and a beard. Maybe they're clean shaven and short hair and wearing suits, you know. And what if you don't have anyone to tell you, no, that's him, we should follow him? Are you going to know? Do you know him well enough to know that it's him? All the stories in the Bible have meaning beyond just the surface level, right? For instance, the story of the prodigal son, it's about the Jewish people falling in unbelief and then coming back later. And that can be said for anyone who knows the truthfulness of the gospel and falls away from it and comes back later. The story of the fish and the loaves of bread is about bring me what you have and I will multiply it unto you. It's about not being able to save ourselves. It's about our faith, you know. Bring me the amount of faith that you have, even if it's a grain of a mustard seed, and I will build upon that and you'll be able to move mountains. So that's sort of what that one's about. It's telling us something else. It's not just Christ performing a miracle. When he was on the cross and he was left, God left his presence. He'd lived his whole life in the presence of God, feeling God and knowing that God was and is and speaking to him, right? In that last moment, he had to make a choice as a man. God left his presence and he had to know what it felt like to make a choice to do that as a human being. So if God left Christ, I feel like, and he had to make that choice, not having those feelings with him anymore, not having the presence of God within him any longer. I feel like there's going to come a time where we're all going to be forced to have to make a choice like that, where maybe the Spirit of the Lord leaves us for a time and we're going to have to decide on our own with the knowledge that we have and with the faith that we have without being prompted. And that would include spiritual leaders without the direction of your spiritual leader. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but think about it. What if it does? If he were to walk into your chapel next Sunday and just look like a normal person and maybe start talking and doing things, like, would you know that it was him? Would you know him by his actions and by his words? So when God said feast on the words of the Lord, you know, read your scriptures, that's how we get to know Christ and get to know who he is and get to be comfortable with the knowledge that we know who he is. It said that if you want to talk to God, pray, and if you want to hear what he has to say back, read the scriptures. They're there to help guide and direct us in our life, but I believe they're also there to show us who Jesus actually is so that we won't be deceived in the last days. So just keep that in mind. I mean, I just wanted to come on here and posit that question, you know? If he showed up tomorrow, would you know him? I'm actually praying that he does, and I can't wait till he does. So thanks for watching, y'all.